A man explains that this is just like a cliché story from a web novel. One day, when he opened his eyes, he was already in a medieval fantasy world without any clue as to how he got here. He ended up becoming a mercenary just to survive through this hellish world. He had to slash through countless enemies again and again to prove himself so he could live more comfortably, as well as hone his skills. We see him stab a barbarian straight through the chest, and then he's surprised as the barbarian is holding onto the blade with his bare hands, buying time for another to come up from behind to finish the job. Now that he is stuck, a slash comes through, and a woman yells, telling him to stay focused. She then orders her men to blow the trumpet, and as soon as they do that, she yells, telling them that it's time to charge forward. As the battle continues between the two armies, the man says that all he wishes for in this world is to survive, and that is all. The woman from earlier approaches him, saying that it seems like he managed to live this one as well, and asks to take a look at his face as she puts her hand on it. She says that she just wanted to make sure that his handsome face has not gotten hurt. Rain begins to trickle down on the battlefield, and the man looks up. We see his eyes look tired, but she tells him that it's all good. We learn that his name is Aaron, and she says that she actually really likes the rain, and that they should go east when the war is over. We see him sticking his hands out, and she says that it rains a lot there, and he shouldn't forget her. Aaron says that it's raining very heavily, and we see he's aged a bit from the memory. A man blows a whistle, telling everybody to get going, asking why they aren't running, and saying they have to catch them before they escape the castle. Some men then approach Aaron, calling out to him, and he says they're a bit late, asking where the others are. They say they'll be here soon. They never would have thought that Hans would cause such a big incident. One of the other men says that he always thought he was a pain in the ass, as that bastard is a mage, and you can't trust mages in the first place, so surely he made some kind of pact with a demon. Aaron thinks about it as the other dude laughs, asking if he's dumb, saying he's just jealous of Hans because he lost the nickname Handsome to him. They start arguing with one another, and he says that he didn't take his nickname. The other guy says he's right because he's never been called handsome once in the first place. As they start fighting, they notice Aaron walking away, asking where he's going, and he says headquarters. One of the men then says that Hans' nickname is going to change from now on because it'll now be changed to Hans, who was handsome even if only his head is left. Aaron says that was an awful joke, and that Hans will definitely be hung if they catch him. We see that the headquarters is inside of a city named Kasurtik, and he is part of the outer fortress guard. Aaron knocks on the door, and a man asks if he's not a bit late. We are introduced to the guard commander named Manuel, who happens to look like a fat George Washington. But you can tell he's tall from how he's sitting. Aaron says he's late because he fell asleep, and Manuel quickly changes the topic, saying he heard that he was quite close with the criminal Hans, asking him if it is true. Aaron thinks about it, saying it is to some extent, as Hans was unusually intelligent at an early age, and they remained close even after he entered the Magic Academy, but saying yes now will only complicate things. So, he tells him no, and that they only exchanged greetings as they passed by. Manuel says that's unfortunate, as this incident is not a simple crime, as it's related to the Lord's daughter, and that guy stole something that should never have been stolen. Never mind guys, I was wrong. Why the hell is he so short? In such a critical situation, if the Kasurtik guards capture the criminal, this will definitely please the Lord. As Commander Lardas lets out a big laugh, he says surely he knows what he means, telling Aaron to bring Hans dead or alive. Aaron says he'll do his best, and now that the Lord is involved in the situation, he finds this hella annoying, and walks out, saying that because of Hans, he's also in danger of being executed. One of the men from outside then approaches him, saying that their guard unit number 4 has everything set up. They start walking through the city while it rains, and one of them says that no matter how crazy those mages are, there's no way Hans would be hiding in this filthy District 7. One of the members agrees, saying that he also has a weak stomach. They also don't want to be wandering around here when they shit on the side of the streets here. They keep yapping about finding him, then getting drunk. Aaron turns, pissed, telling them to shut the hell up already. He sighs, saying these medieval idiots only talk about drinking even when their heads are on the line. He then spots somebody laying on the side of the road, telling him to pull his hood off as he reaches for his blade. The dude begins to laugh evilly. As he stands up, calling out to Aaron, he laughs, saying that it's been a while. Before he can finish his sentence, Aaron hits him with a surprised right to the face, causing the dude to spit up blood, and he falls to the floor. Aaron says that he's the bastard who got caught because he's got some problems, saying this is perfect timing. The dude says that is the wrong dude, and he's just the herbalist in this alley, and he was about to report a theft. Aaron then is surprised, saying no wonder he looks so familiar. Poor bro caught astray because he looks kind of evil. He says that's not the response he expected from him, asking why he hit him in the first place, saying that this day has been shit straight from the start. All of the herbs were stolen, and now he got beaten by the guards. He asks what was so urgent that the thief had to steal a common grimroot that you can find everywhere in the town. Aaron then realizes something, saying that grimroot leaves can be used to stop bleeding, asking where the herb thief went. He makes his way further into District 7, as we see a man bleeding against a wall. He's holding onto his arm as the rain pours down onto him. Aaron calls out to him, and we learn that this is Hans, asking him what's with that look, saying that he's the one who always says how much he hates blood, yet now he's pathetically clinging onto his own arm. He tells him that it's over now, and he should just come with him while he's being nice. Hans says that it's still not, and starts to speak enchantment table. Aaron gets surprised by this as the water on the ground slowly starts to rise up from the puddle, creating a giant aqua ball in the sky above the both of them. Aaron wonders why he's using magic here and now, saying that it's going to be filthy but wonders why it's so powerful, wondering if it's because of the rain. Hans says that he's sorry, but he must do this, as he cannot be caught right now. He then launches the attack towards Aaron, who straight up kicks the water ball away. Hans says that it's still not over yet, as he sticks his hand up into the air. A magic circle forms as he starts to create even more aqua balls. Aaron says that water magic on a rainy day sure is annoying, and if that's the case, he knows what he has to do. As he takes a deep breath, he dashes forward insanely quick, saying that he needs to overpower the mage. Hans is caught off guard and says that he needs to be faster as he stretches his hand out, preparing to cast another spell. Aaron says that he should quit while he's ahead, and swings his blade down at him, saying that he needs to shut his mouth instead of casting more spells. It's important to not allow a mage to speak, as that's where their magic gets its power from. We see the attack go straight by Hans, who begins to cry while calling him brother. We see Aaron actually only graze his neck, and Hans drops to his knees. As tears roll down his face, he asks him if he'll spare him. Aaron says he heard rumors that he signed a contract with the demon, and we see Hans shivering. He tells him if that's true, there will be a scar near his heart, and then we see him surprised, as when he lifts his shirt up, Hans's chest is completely clean, asking why he did something evil to the Lord's daughter even though he's not a demon's minion. Hans says that it's going to be hard for him to understand, even if he tells him, but someday he'll find out. He then hears his men saying they need to search this area too, and Aaron sighs, saying that he's going to go crazy. He lifts Hans up by his robe while opening a potion and pours it over his severed arm, causing Hans to scream. Aaron tells him that it's a recovery potion, so stop being ridiculous, and to follow him. He says surely losing an arm is enough for a punishment. As he starts moving some wood from the side of the wall, he says unfortunately it's not up to him to judge, because in this medieval time it's either innocent or hanging. There is no in between. After all the boards are gone, it reveals a hole in the wall, and he tells Hans to get lost. Hans is grateful to him and calls him brother, but Aaron hits him straight in the face, telling him to stop calling him that and get lost already while glaring at him. Hans begins to get down on the ground, then looks back again, teary-eyed, thanking him yet again, calling him brother as he makes his way through the tunnel. Aaron's men then get closer, saying that they need to search every corner. Aaron sits there, saying he told him to stop calling him that. On this day, within the small fortress of the Khazardic eastern frontier, Hans has completely disappeared. He had the nicknames of Handsome Hans, Kind Hans, and Friendly Hans. As we see a pair of panties blowing through the wind, we learn that Hans's grand crime was none other than stealing the princess's panties. Was this a W or an L? In this medieval world, where cleanliness, laws, and ethics are all at their most primitive stages, he is the guard captain that has to deal with all these crimes that range from petty to severe. Aaron then looks up, wondering whose panties that is floating away now, probably feeling pretty good that he helped Hans escape. One of Aaron's men slams the table, saying, "Damn it," and he can't believe that Hans disappeared, wondering where he possibly could have gone. We're finally introduced to Aaron's men. One of them, the previous handsome man, is none other than Kale, who says that he can't believe that they can't find him even after searching all over Khazardic Fortress. Another man, who is their youngest, is named Brig, who says that it's possible that he used magic to run away. One of the men with the moniker of Snake Eyes Pool calls Brig an idiot, saying if everything is possible using magic, then why do they need arms? Another man named Carter, who has the nickname of Sleepy Head, is looking dead on the table, telling them all to be quiet. He continues, saying that he hasn't slept well in the last 3 days, and he's so tired, he feels like he'll die. The only man we haven't been introduced to yet says it's not like he won't die just from the lack of sleep, but Poole says no, this punk will definitely die if he doesn't sleep. They all say that's probably true because it is Carter, after all. We're finally introduced to the man who is Aaron's right-hand man named Vermin. Vermin says that now the search is over, they should rest well. Kale asks why he's acting so proud, and Vermin laughs, saying he's still in second place. We then hear a man talking to Aaron as he starts to light up a cigar. He says it's nice to meet him, introducing himself as William. Aaron says that Constable William is someone who can cut his neck with just one word or put him in prison for the rest of his life. He is at the peak of the guards. William then asks him if he was close to the criminal Hans, and furthermore, he continued to patrol the last remaining District 7 all alone, asking him if he failed to discover anything while getting right into his face. He says coincidentally it's an area where the internal guards can't look into, insinuating that Aaron let him go. Aaron says there's nothing there besides shit, of course, understanding the guy has no evidence of the crime. William understands that he is right and then scares the wig off of Lord Lardass, saying that the cigar he gave him is gas. He can't believe he managed to get such an expensive item with a small salary. Manuel says it's a gift he got from a distant cousin. William says surely he did not steal or embezzle to afford it. Manuel says of course not. William then tells him to listen carefully, as anyone in this castle who commits a crime or helps commit a crime will die by his hands. As he starts to put out his cigar on Aaron's leather strap, he says that it'll be good for him to keep that in mind. Aaron pats away the ashes and puts on a super big fake smile, saying that he'll keep that in mind. Later that day, as the sun starts to set, both Kale and Vermin tell Aaron to get home safely. As Aaron's walking back, he says that he's so tired of being stuck in the Middle Ages, as there is nothing called human rights, and he can't believe that Hans actually managed to escape without getting caught. But it's not like he has the worst feeling about it. He then hears a woman screaming from inside of the inn. As he walks over, we see a woman asking a man what he's doing as he's holding on to her. He says the inn owner is so pretty they can't leave her like this, saying it'd be too much of a shame. She tells him to let go, and we are introduced to the owner of the Laughing Rabbit named Hannah. One of the dude's men says that he told her to treat her like a gentleman, and we learn that guy's name is Dylan. Dylan says the lady is misunderstanding it, and they just haven't been in this village for a long time, so they're trying to make some friends. He winks at her, saying if possible, he wants a friendship that allows them to share a bed together. Everybody else starts laughing at his joke, and Hannah sighs, saying that they look like mercenaries from another country, and if they keep doing this, there's going to be a really bad situation for them. And before they regret it, they should stop here. Dylan slams the table, asking her what she plans to do if they don't. He gets right into her face, asking what she is even capable of, asking if she believes that some guard will come save her as he starts to pull down her top. He continues, saying there's no way those guys will come to take care of an isolated shabby inn. But of course, Aaron appears, too big to fit through the door. While Hannah seems really happy to see him, so do some of the other normals at the inn. As he enters, he glares at Dylan, and Hannah quickly runs over. Dylan's men get up, realizing that they're probably going to have to fight as they walk towards him. Hannah hides behind him, he tells her 10 days, and she says 5, as it's less than last time and that he's a guard, so this is his job in the first place. He tells her 9, as he's already clocked out from work. She says 6 days, she can't go any higher. Dylan and his boys wonder what the hell is going on, and so do I. He starts to get annoyed, asking why they're ignoring him when he's right in front of them. Dylan's man, Budget Kratos, comes in with a sneak attack on Aaron, who says 8 days. We see a hand stretch out towards him as Aaron palms his head like a basketball, saying that he sure does hate the way medieval people talk. He tells Hannah that he wants free lodging for 6 days and free dinner for tonight, asking her if it's a deal or not. She says sure, sticking up her thumb just like he did, saying that she doesn't really know what the word deal means. As Dylan stands in front of the man, Aaron starts to lift the dude up out of the air with one arm, saying from now on, it's time to educate these medieval bastards as he throws the dude straight past Dylan into the wall, scaring Dylan. Aaron starts to glare at him, releasing killing intent. The regulars begin chugging their beer, while Dylan is still in disbelief. They then start to get really excited, slamming their cups on the table, saying it's starting. Aaron comes in with a punch, hitting Dylan in the face, causing one of his teeth to go flying. He says there are no bad medieval people, there are only those who need to get beaten up more. As he kicks him in the chest, he says that once each of them gets beaten, they'll become nicer than before. As he hits Dylan in the chest, sending him straight to the ground, the normals start cheering his name, telling Hannah to bring them one more cup. The reason why they became regulars here is because there's a monster that lives here, and he's always giving them some kind of show when thugs appear trying to have their way with Hannah, which has given him the nickname of the greatest human cleaner, the rogue captain of the guards. They're all followers of Aaron, and we see multiple bloodied dudes laying on the floor already. Aaron, a little annoyed, thinks one day he'll give those old dudes a lesson, too. Dylan then starts to pull out a weapon but freezes up once Aaron calls out to him in a very calm tone. He asks him if he's really planning to take out his weapon in this situation. Dylan puts his hands up saying nope. Aaron continues beating the hell out of them and successfully clocks out for the night in his room. We see his arm over his face as he's dreaming about the woman we saw before. We hear her voice saying that if he has no name, they can call him Aaron. Something is being burnt down as the woman is covered in blood. She tells Aaron to run away and not to look back, as he must continue living on. Aaron jolts awake, unsheathing his blade but stops halfway, breathing heavily, realizing that it was only a dream as tears roll down his face, as he looks hella pained. The next morning, he's out training with his sword, saying it's already been 6 years since he came into this world, and he wonders if he'll ever be able to leave or if he's going to be stuck here forever. While he's training, a man approaches him, saying that he has a sword with no frills. He didn't know there was a skilled man in the borders of Casertic, and he's very surprised. He starts clapping. Aaron wonders who this dude is as he spots an emblem of the Finnish family on his chest and a spiral rapier on his hilt. He starts to have an idea of the dude's job at least, saying that this bastard is a knight, while the man stares smiling at him. Aaron explains that a knight is a group that handles aura and fights against demons, surpassing human limits. They are the sword of humanity. If it's that brat from the Fenner family, then that guy is a knight from Bolt Fortress. Wondering why he came all the way here to Casertic, he tightens the grip on his blade, wondering if maybe the Empire sent him. The knight tells him there's nothing to be wary of, he just got excited at seeing his sword skill, and that's about it. Then he asks if he's a part of a knight order. As we hear a woman call out to him, we learn that his name is Ben. Her golden hair begins to flow through the wind, and she runs over, asking how an escort can leave her behind. We are introduced to the only daughter of the Falpoots family, aka the Lord of Casertic's family, Vivian. She then is surprised that they were in the middle of a conversation, apologizing for interrupting. Aaron immediately gets on his knee, kneeling towards her, introducing himself, giving her an over-the-top formal greeting. She laughs, saying that it's nice to meet him. She then tells him to continue working hard for the security of their fortress. Ben finds it suspicious that somebody so skilled is a mere guard member, saying that he finds it strange, as he most certainly is a knight. Aaron's also suspicious for other reasons, but decides that there's no point in saying anything, as it's not his business, and he should just head to work. Lard S then yells out his name, telling him to come here. As Aaron just got to work, he wonders what happened. He makes it to the inner fortress, and he sits in front of a door, sighing, as Lard S reprimands him, asking if he's lost his mind, saying he told him to be selective about who he hits, and asking why he turned the mercenaries that the inner fortress hired into corpses. He tells him to go solve it himself and come back. Aaron says that he didn't actually kill any of them, though, saying that he can't believe those assholes are mercenaries they hired. On top of that, the official in charge is someone he's a little scared of. We hear a woman yelling, telling him to come in already. As he gets in, we see her fiercely writing away while holding her head, and he asks if she was looking for him. We learn that her name is Nova. She stops writing, then starts to glare at Aaron, asking him what kind of guard captain is causing this much trouble, and saying if he doesn't think his job suits him, he should quit now rather than making it difficult for many people. She is the administrative officer of this castle. Aaron smiles nervously, saying as expected of Nova, her personality sure is blunt, but he also has a plan for this time, as Kale gives him tips on how to win a woman's heart. First, he needs to keep a soft smile. Aaron starts doing exactly that, but in a completely creepy way, which startles Nova a little bit. The second tip was to give her sweet, specific compliments. He says her hair looks just like a perfectly ripened orange, and it makes him want to taste it right now. Kale breaks the fourth wall, saying that this is not what he taught him, and this is slander. Nova starts to get annoyed and a little creeped out, asking if he's gone insane, but then sighs, saying that just dealing with him gives her a headache. Aaron thinks that his riz worked. She says that the mercenaries he knocked out yesterday were originally meant to be sent to Bolt Fortress. Aaron laughs, saying those guys were more like piles of shit than mercenaries, and even if he sent them as they are, they'd still serve their purpose. She tells him to stop talking immediately, saying that now that it has come to this, he'll have to fill in for those mercenaries, and he can't refuse. She'll provide compensation, and it's all his mess to clean up. He says okay, but asks what's going on. She says that it's a carriage escort mission, and that's about as much as she can tell him. As they start making their way, Aaron says there are a lot of people for just a simple escort, and moreover, most of them seem to be other mercenaries. It looks like they're gearing up for a battle or something big, saying that he doesn't feel good about this. He then turns, asking who's going to ride in the carriage, only to see Dylan, who freaks out, asking him why he's here. Bro is still missing his tooth, and Aaron calls him a weasel. He asks why he's calling him an animal when he's just a monster. Gonna start calling Dylan Weasel from now on. Aaron says he heard that all of Weasel's friends were still on the brink of death, saying maybe he has more resilience than he thought, then wonders if maybe he just hit him less than the others. Immediately Weasel's 180s his attitude, saying that he's going to call him older brother. Some of the mercenaries say the sun has already set, asking if they're going to be camping on the first day. One of them says they'll be staying near his village. Aaron says there's only one village nearby, and that is the Knockville village. As they arrive, apparently the entire village is empty, so everybody might have run away together. The mercenaries are confused, saying it wasn't even a bad harvest, then suggest that maybe it's the work of demons. As one of the men tells him to shut up and not to jinx them, Weasel looks over, asking Aaron while chasing after him if they can go together. We see Vivian looking out of the carriage as a crow starts flying off in the sky, which is some obvious foreshadowing. Weasel asks where he's going, saying they just arrived here, and that something feels off, saying that there should definitely still have been people around. While Aaron looks around, he starts to have a memory of a little kid asking if this was really for him. Calling him Mr. Knight, he holds the book very dear, saying that if he comes to his village, to please visit him. Weasel then bumps into Aaron, and we see that he's also stepping in some red liquid. Weasel freaks out, asking what this is, suggesting it's blood. Aaron tells Weasel not to look up, no matter what he does, but of course, Weasel does, only to reveal a complete nightmare fuel scene of villagers being hung up on crosses and drained like pigs. Weasel's stomach turns inside out as he starts leaning over, throwing up, but Aaron doesn't look too fazed, as his gut was right. He then hears Vivian's voice, asking Aaron if that's him, which surprises him. He turns instantly, only to see her standing over on the other side of the street, asking what he is doing here. He says that's his question, asking what she's doing here, and we see her smiling very sinisterly. It then jumps back to the camp. Someone is pouring everybody food. We see them lining up to eat it, but Aaron and Weasel are sitting off on the side. Aaron seems pretty relaxed, so much to the point that even Weasel says they are too laid back, asking how they can eat after seeing those corpses, and wondering who would do something like this in the first place. An older man then steps forward, saying that it was a sacrifice, and that was the scene of some kind of ritual where humans are offered to demons. He says the two of them haven't eaten yet, asking if they would like some of his wine. Aaron says he'll pass, as alcohol dulls his senses. The old man asks about Weasel, and of course Weasel can't turn down the drink. Aaron says if he throws up again, he's going to kill him. The old man introduces himself as John, the commander of this convoy, saying that he hasn't seen their faces before, and wonders if they're mercenaries. Aaron introduces himself, saying he's not a mercenary, it's just some part-time work. Everyone wonders how a mercenary could be part-time, but John tells him to make sure to eat well and rest whenever he can, as the journey is going to be tougher than expected. They then look over to the side. As some of the people in line spot Vivian walking towards in and they start going crazy, John says that she's called the Flower of the East, and she sure is pretty. Weasel agrees, saying that she's really beautiful. John adds that he had a feeling this wasn't just an ordinary escort mission, but he didn't expect Lady Kasardik and her knight to be in that carriage. Aaron, still looking skeptical, takes us back to when she stumbled across them and the bodies. She says that she was having a little outing, as it was suffocating to stay inside the carriage all this time. She also mentions how she is heading to Bolt Fortress on her father's suggestion. He double-checks that he's the one sending her off. Ben steps up, saying that's enough, and knowing too much comes with heavy responsibilities, as he should only know what's appropriate for his position, reminding him that he is but a captain at the guards. I wonder how she is completely unfazed after seeing all those corpses. John says that Aaron seems oddly calm, saying that a demon might appear, and it scares him. Aaron asks why he would be afraid when they have a knight on their side, as they are trained solely to fight demons. They are the Empire's elite force after all. Also, as long as he has a sword, with even the slimmest chance of survival, he's always made it out alive, which he finds unfortunate. John asks if that's the case, saying that he wishes him luck. As they continue sitting around the fire until the pot of food is empty. Later in the night, Aaron approaches a book on the table, picking it up. It's none other than the one that little boy had, who really enjoyed it in his flashback. Aaron looks happy, smiling at the book, saying it's been quite a while since they last saw each other, saying that Horn must have grown taller, as that's the little boy's name. Someone then approaches Aaron from behind. As Aaron spins, hitting him with an elbow to the face, he notices something. It's some kind of zombified creature that can't even open its eyes. It comes back for another attack, only for Aaron to draw his blade this time, slicing it through the chest, making it fall over. He wonders what the hell is going on, and why there is a zombie here, but more importantly, where it came from. He then hears screams as Weasel is crying, fighting away his own nightmare fuel, but of course, it's not working. Aaron comes through, cutting its head off, leaving him super happy to see him. He starts hugging onto his leg, asking where on earth he's going at an hour like this, leaving him behind. Eren tells him to stop freaking out for a second, asking where everybody else is. He tells him they're completely screwed, as the mercenaries, the soldiers, and everybody else are asleep and won't wake up, as if they've been put under some kind of sleeping spell. Eren wonders if it's really magic, saying that if that's the case, how come only he and Weasel are fine? He then Sherlock Holmes it, saying that they must have drugged the stew. Since it wasn't poisoned, but a sleeping agent, their goal is to capture someone alive, and that is probably none other than Vivian. Weasel then points over to their side, telling Eren that this is a big problem. As a giant horde of zombies starts to approach them, he says he thinks they're screwed. The zombies continue their little march towards them, as Eren pushes Weasel away, saying he's going to warm up with these slow-ass bastards before the real game starts. He smiles, then locks in. Recalling his senses on the battlefield, he slices through some of the zombies, continuously making his way through the horde with clean strikes. He finishes this fight with a downward slash, cutting straight through a zombie. He says surely that woke them up, telling the rest to make their way out now. As even more zombies appear, Eren leaps straight to battle with no fear. The rain begins to fall over the village as we see Eren surrounded by corpses, panting. Another zombie begins to approach him from behind, and he's surprised there's one left, but when he turns, he realizes who it is. As we see a little boy's arms, it's none other than Horn, crying tears of blood, making his way towards him. Eren freezes up, saying as expected, he's definitely grown a bit taller, as the boy begins slowly wobbling forward. Eren raises his sword into the air, calling out to the zombified Horn. We then get a flashback to 2 years ago. Horn explains that he hid in a village to avoid some people pursuing him. We see Horn calling out to him again, referring to him as Mr. Knight, and Eren asks why he keeps calling him that. Horn says he saw it in a book, and knights are cool and strong. Horn is the son of a village farmer, and he loved books. He says it's because it's the strongest and coolest person he's ever seen. Eren pats his head, saying he really loves to talk nonsense, making Horn embarrassed. We see Eren smiling very widely as he really liked Horn. He's still hesitating to strike down as Horn approaches him. He says even after settling in Kasserdik Fortress, he still came here to visit him, telling him about how the library in this city is full of books, and librarians are buried between books all day long. Horn immediately tells him that's what he wants to do, as being able to read books all day long sounds like a dream. Eren says for a bookworm like him, it must be a perfect fit, and he can try that. He then swings his sword down after resolving himself. We see it slice toward Horn, and he says that some people mention that demons feed on humans' fear. We see that Eren actually stopped himself from going through with the attack, as he looks like he would have regretted it immediately. We get a flashback to Horn's face being bruised, and when Eren asked about it, Horn says his father hid him because he wanted to be a librarian. He told him that a farmer could only be a farmer, and Horn broke down. Horn says that the saying about demons isn't true, as they eat despair. Eren throws his sword away, running over to embrace Horn. He tells him that he's not a knight, as Horn starts eating away at his shoulder. Eren pushes his head closer in and then wraps his hand around his lower back, completely shattering his spine while simultaneously breaking his neck. Horn's arm goes limp, and Eren says that he's just a fortress's guard captain. The rain continues as we see another group appearing behind Eren, but luckily, we hear Weasel yelling, saying that he woke up everybody that was sleeping, telling them to get to work and to wipe out the zombies as they start going after the horde behind Eren. Eren takes one more look down at Horn's lifeless eyes and then closes them, telling him to rest in peace, and he hopes nothing more will happen to him after death. An explosion then occurs at the building Vivian was staying at. As Eren grabs his blade, he slowly walks towards the explosion, saying that he will make sure to avenge him. This is a hella cool scene. A maid gets her throat slit as we see Ben standing above her. He says due to the rumors that someone was targeting the young lady, they were secretly heading to Bolt Fortress. It turns out that rumor was true. As he pulls out a knife from his arm, he says he never expected that they'd even target a secret escort mission like this. As Vivian sleeps behind him on the bed, Ben says that holding a sword to protect a lady is the happiness and romance of a knight, asking if he's wrong. I thought he was bad. Now I like him. He says even if the opponent is a wicked demon, it doesn't matter to him. He says he's a knight that likes to yap, but even if he tries to buy time with that nonsense, his wounds aren't going to heal quickly, as it was a dagger coated with a very vicious poison. He must have eaten the stew as well, and thanks to the effect of the poison, his mind must be foggy, asking if he really believes that he has any chance. Ben says of course, that his actions are just as vile to him. Maybe it's just because he's ugly as hell. The dude can't believe he's catching strays, and we see eyeballs appear on his arm. He leaps off the debris, telling Ben to be careful with his words while rearing back his fist. He then slams down his Ben backpedals and looks down at his aura blade, only for it to have a faint glow. He says that he's only at about half power right now, but this guy still only has one of his arms completely demonified. So he will quickly target the areas that haven't gotten demonification as soon as he gets baited in with his taunts. We see the guy now realizing he's going for a blind spot. As Ben thrusts forward, he says there's still a chance to win. As he stabs the dude in the side of the throat, the guy's demon arm grabs him by the throat, asking if he thought he'd die if he stabbed a part of his body that hasn't transformed yet. He begins to squeeze the life out of Ben, saying that there's no way he would die to a mere knight. Ben begins to spit up blood and then is surprised by something, as Eren is now in the room, squeezing his sword up behind the demon, saying that he's here to avenge Horn. He then cuts the top half of his head off, telling him not to even think about running. The man then starts screaming, now that the top half of his head is gone, asking Eren who the hell he is. He comes in for an attack, which Eren puts his guard up for, but it still is powerful enough to send him flying backwards into a wall, breaking it. The man then starts screaming while regenerating, asking what the hell that was, saying that it's not even a knight that injured him this badly, and he ended up wasting his precious blood. Before he runs out of the blood offered as a sacrifice, he needs to quickly hand over Vivian. Eren continues, saying that Horn has now been turned into a zombie, and that this is all revenge for him as he leaps through the air, coming in for an attack. We see the man block it, again sending Eren flying backwards, but not without injuries. The man is bleeding from his chest. Eren tells him to heal up quickly, as every time he recovers, he's just going to cut him down. The dude starts screaming, telling him to stay the hell out of his way. The dude then has a realization that the demon on his arm is now sucking his blood, and at this rate, he's going to be completely consumed. Speaking of blood, Eren spits some out of his mouth, saying that he thought the dude would be a lot tankier than this, but he's nothing more than an actual fraud. The dude starts to get pissed as Eren charges back in, saying that he's going to make sure he hits him way more to get his full revenge for Horn. The dude asks who he is, that Horn is this important to him that he'd go this far, but more so he wonders how Eren is so strong since he's not a knight capable of using aura, so where does his strength come from? Eren's spider senses tingle as he turns, blocking an attack from none other than John, who says that he guesses that his body wasn't just for show. Eren says that he was wondering when John would crawl out. John says as expected, he's quite sharp. He says on the outside he may look like a bear, but inside he's a complete fox. Eren says that since the villagers were sacrificed and he showed up right on time, he can't help but suspect that he is the one in charge. John says that if it wasn't for him, it would have all been over by now. As they start trading blows, in the background, the man tells the demon to recover already, but the demon says it's too late. The dude asks what it means, but the demon starts eating away at his body, saying that he's no longer needed. The man screams, saying no, and he'll offer the blood immediately, but the demon says that it found a far more delicious-looking body. Eren's sword then gets broken, he says shit, and he can't believe he bought it off a Taimu. John starts to smile with excitement, saying the fight's finally over, telling him to die while thrusting forward. Eren ducks underneath it, hitting him with a counter straight to the face using the bottom of his hilt. John then drops to his knees, saying that this kind of guy wasn't in his calculations as he just got his shit rocked. Eren then makes his way over towards the demon, saying in the end he got completely devoured as the man's body has been transformed entirely into a grotesque form. Its mouth opens wide as it has a very creepy smile. We see directly in the middle, it has some type of core on display. It calls Eren a pitiful creature, saying to answer them, as this great being will take him from now on, asking what he wants to do. He doesn't even have the strength to swing his sword, and he's not even a knight. Eren begins to run forward, as the demon taunts him, asking what he could possibly do with so little strength left. Eren says that he hates seeing that disgusting smile on its face, and he opens his mouth wide, biting straight into its core, saying that he still has the strength to rip them apart. The demon begins to laugh while its core is being eaten by Eren, and it says that he's impressive. Eren's vision immediately goes black, as he gets a flashback to two people arguing. He wonders what's going on. As the dudes are talking about money, he recognizes them, saying their names are Gladiator Golgai and the Gambler Way. A woman then laughs while watching all this, and he says that her name is Avery, and she is a mage. We see the red-haired girl from the start telling Wei that's enough and to give Golgai his money back. Eren smiles, saying these are his comrades from his mercenary days. Wei says that he can't give back the money he won, as Golgai hits him in the face. As a man puts his hand on his shoulder, it's none other than the commander, whose face is all distorted. As we see arrows and swords in his back, he says surely he hasn't forgotten that he must survive at all costs. As we see all of his mercenary allies' corpses on the ground, The demon says that he truly is delicious, as we see it now trying to consume his soul from within. Aaron then jolts awake after having that nightmare, and Ben asks if he slept well, double-checking if he's come to his senses or not. Aaron says that he's surprised to see that he's still alive, but Ben says that should be his line. He thought he had already died since his presence was getting weaker and weaker. Aaron's a little surprised that his body is perfectly fine. Aaron tells him that he found him unconscious when he woke up. Aaron wonders why he had those memories just now. But Ben doesn't give him a chance to think, saying that the demon was also laying directly next to him, asking him if that was his doing because he surely was the only one who could have defeated it. Aaron stands up, apologizing, saying that he doesn't actually remember anything, but as long as it's dead, it doesn't really matter who did it. Ben asks what Vivian has to do with the demons. She looks like she doesn't know that her life is on the line and is just sleeping comfortably. Aaron says that wouldn't be his business. Ben asks why he's talking in such a way to a noble. Aaron disregards it, saying he understands. As he's starting to limber up his body, after he's hit that post-nap stretch, Ben says they're really indebted to him on this matter, and he would like to formally introduce himself as a knight from Bolt Fortress, saying that he's so grateful that Aaron was here. Aaron says it's no worries, and sometime later in the day, we see Horn's zombified corpse holding onto the book as he and the other villagers are being burned. Aaron says that he can't believe they sacrificed an entire village to summon a demon, and it was all just because they wanted Vivian's life. He then starts to turn away, saying that it gives off a hell of a bad smell and definitely makes him feel a bit better. Once all of the bodies were cremated, the escort turned around and returned to Kasserdik. They also agreed to say that Ben was the one who took care of the demon. Since it was just the two of them who saw it, he thought it would be more convenient for him. Because people found out that he came into contact with the demon, there's a high chance that the situation will escalate and the church will end up conducting an investigation. But yet again, he's turned out to survive this time as well. He's going to receive some compensation too, so it's a win-win. Weasel then grabs onto his arms, asking why he's walking so quickly. Aaron thought he died, but Weasel hid under some of the corpses pretending to be dead. Turns out he's more persistent than he thought. Aaron shrugs his arm, sending Weasel flying, saying that he thought this would be the end of the mercenary substitute mission. But as soon as he gets back to an end, we see his face completely panicked. As he's looking in the mirror, he's asking what this is. As we see an eyeball appear on his chest, it calls out to him, asking him how he has been. This startles Aaron to the point that he even lets out a scream, immediately unsheathing his blade, stabbing himself directly in the chest. But we see it actually didn't pierce, and the demon says that was pretty refreshing, asking if he could itch a little higher too. Aaron tells it to shut up and starts to repeat the process over and over. We see Henna downstairs, wondering if he's okay up there. After a bit of no success, Aaron lays back down on the bed, sighing, asking if this is the same demon from last time. They say that's correct, but that's only what the ignorant ones call him. Aaron says shit, this is bad, wondering if it latched onto him when he started eating it. This is why you don't put weird things in your mouth. He wonders if this is also the reason why his memories were weird. The demon tells him not to get it wrong, it's not his will, and they are merely taking over his body through their own will. Aaron tells the demon to go to someone else's body then, otherwise he's going to skin all the flesh around it. The demon says it just told him that it's not his will, and it takes time to move hosts. Aaron asks how long, and the demon looks up at him, saying probably around 100 years. Aaron quickly stabs it again. The demon says to stop it, as having them around won't be too bad, and it might be necessary to show him what they are. As they close their eyes, they open them again as aura starts to emanate from it. It's actually a greenish hue, just like a knight's. Aaron's eyes are in disbelief. He's looking down at the aura. He asks how the hell a demon has the power that only knights can possess, as knights have been trained to eradicate demons. It then disappears after just a couple seconds, and clearly the demon is gassed out, asking if he sees the potential, and then they pass out from overusing their power. Their eyes roll to the back of it. I was going to say their head, but it's a chest. Aaron just asks what the hell that was, saying that this dude's a complete weakling, and looks a little disappointed. Henna then screams out his name, and he says that he's screwed if she sees this. She is downstairs, telling him to come down for a minute, as the Catholic monastery is looking for him. The man from the monastery pushes Henna away, asking if that means he's on the second floor, saying there's no time to waste. He heads upstairs, telling Aaron that he shouldn't hesitate when a noble calls him, rubbing in the fact that he's a commoner, and saying that Sir Ben is looking for him, telling him to come down quickly. Aaron hits him straight in the face, saying that he still looks ugly as hell, and we learn that the dude's name is Jace, and he has the nickname of the Halfie. Jace holds his nose as Aaron says he'll be ready in a minute, so just lie down and wait. Jace calls him crazy for doing this, and as Aaron steps his way down, Henna asks if he's gonna head out. Then tells him to come home early, since she learned a massage that'll make him feel very good. Starting to seduce him, she says that she'll do it if he pays her 50 copper. He says, nah, and carries Jace out of the inn. She begs, saying she'll do it for 40 copper, and as they leave, Aaron says that he got all scared, but it turns out that it was only Ben who called him, and he starts to smile, wondering if he's about to get a reward for defeating the demon. We get a flashback to Ben asking Aaron if he's really okay, saying that surely he knows that defeating a demon is a glorious achievement, yet he's letting him have that for some reason. Aaron just tells him that he doesn't want things to become noisy. If he feels bad for him, then he should just share some of the rewards. Ben says that if he does receive anything, he'll definitely call him over. Aaron has different thoughts, as he's explaining aura again, saying that it's a miracle ability given only to knights, and only those who have been handpicked and trained by the Empire can become one. However, the method of training the knights is left unwritten, so there's something eerie about the demon being able to use something that is similar, if not aura. Aaron asks Jace how much further they have to go, and Jace says they're almost there, asking him what the nickname Halfie means anyway. Aaron say it's because he's not even half of a noble, because he's the bastard son of a dude who is also a bastard. Jace gets annoyed, saying he's gonna kill this dude one day, while Aaron is enjoying teasing him. They finally arrive, and Aaron is surprised, as they are now in front of the Solar Church Hall, which looks pretty grand. Aaron starts to fade out of existence, because he has a demon inside of him, so this is bad. As they head inside, Ben welcomes him, and we see him all dripped up. He says that they've been waiting for him, and he seems quite startled because of the sudden summon. Of course, that's because Aaron's scared he's gonna be exorcised, and even the demon says this place is putting him in a bad mood. Ben introduces the priest to the church named Blaine, who says it's nice to meet Aaron, and then somebody else walks forward, and we are introduced to Joanna the Inquisitor, baddie alert. Ben says they are both renowned for their deep religious faith. As Aaron and Joanna have a stare down, he wonders why she's staring at him so intently. She then raises her fist, coming in for a punch. As Aaron reaches for his blade, we see her just lightly tap his head, leaving him completely confused. Blaine says that that is her hand of blessing, and he is jealous of him. Aaron says that he was scared, but he's glad it was just some kind of religious ritual. The demon starts yapping, which means that it was pretty effective. Blaine says that Ben told him everything, even about him refusing to take credit after defeating the demon. So this is a small gesture from their church for tributing his achievements. Ben is surprised as he sees the church's golden brooch and some gold coins. Blaine's glad he recognizes it, but Aaron just asks if it's really okay for him to accept it. Blaine laughs, saying of course, all he needs to do is lend them his strength when the church is in dire need, which is very, very rare. Aaron says that he heard Priest Blaine was one of the corrupt power brokers behind Kasardik. Of course, being blinded by money and being the rogue guard he is, Aaron immediately says that from today onwards, Blaine is his father of faith, and he starts to scream, "Long live the Solar Church." Blaine laughs as Aaron continues. Bro is Lloyd levels of greedy, while Joanna just stares at him. Later, he heads back, as we see Kale is a little confused. Since Aaron made some pit stops on the way home, he now has new armor. He asks him what's wrong. Kale asks if maybe he stole someone's money or something, asking what's up with his brooch and his strange armor, saying it looks a bit tacky. Aaron says that's what he has to say about his tacky scarf. Kale says that Rosa bought it for him, and there's nothing tacky about it. Aaron says that the brooch is a gift filled with the energy of the god of the sun. Kale asks the hard-hitting questions of why he doesn't use that money to pay his bar bills. One of the barmaids walks over, telling them that she has brought their beer. We learn that her name is Charlotte, as she sets it down on the table beside them. She looks around the table, asking if Brig is coming today. Aaron says that today is his off day, but asks if she's interested in him or something. She says he's not bad, and he's hardworking and caring, and she was going to give him a massage that'll make him feel good if he comes by. Aaron says he was wondering who Henna learned it from. Then looks down at the beer, saying that it's always too warm when he drinks it, and he misses cold beer. Charlotte then asks if they've heard that it seems like a group of scammers have appeared recently, asking if they know where the sick mermaiden is. Of course, we see none other than Weasel losing his money, asking how they got 5 times in a row, barking about how this is clearly a scam. Charlotte continues telling them the story about how a little girl is dominating the dice roll. Aaron slams his mug on the table, saying he's gotta go pay this cheeky kid a visit, saying that a minor shouldn't be gambling in his district, and as the captain of the guards, he can't just sit and watch all of this unfold. Kale and Charlotte are surprised that he's actually acting like a guard, but Kale remembers how money hungry he is, and starts crawling towards him, saying that he can't. Charlotte's confused. As Aaron starts cracking his neck, He says it's time to go get rid of their gambling, but Kale says that the only reason he's going is because he knows the captain wants to gamble. Well guys, that's the end of the video. If you like this video, comment part 2 in the comments section. Also subscribe to the channel, hit the bell and like the video. Thank you for watching and see you next time again.